How do I know when it's time to close somebody?
As you get into more specifics, the more specific you get, the closer you are to outcomes. Then you start asking questions like, you can even say, like, it seems like we've got this about wrapped up.
Okay.
You're going to test it. And usually it's, what I just used was a label. It wasn't a question. The label is an observation. The other side feels in control when you throw a label out. You're actually trying to close the window at this point in time. You're trying to nail this baby down. You don't want the other side to feel that. You want them to feel that it's still collaborative. You want them to make aware with you. You know, are we at the finish line? Or is there something I'm missing that's going to bite us in the very near future, which is going to mess all this up? So seems like we just about got all this nailed down is a great label to throw out to see if you're at the point of closing where the other side doesn't. You don't want them to feel that you close them, because there's a negative aspect to that. You want them to feel like they brought it to a close, because if they brought it to a close, they're more likely to perform.
Yeah, that makes sense. Chris, have you ever lost in a negotiation?
Oh, of course.
Okay. How did you recover?
Of course. First of all, the mindset to start with.
Right.
My former boss, Gary Nessner, preached over and over and over, best chance of success. And I had a hostage negotiation go bad in the Philippines. And at the time, I was extremely successful up to then. Like I was batting 1,000. And then I realized the words that come out of my mouth, best chance of success, means there's no guarantee. So something's going to go bad. It's inevitable. Hostage negotiators got roughly a 93% success rate, which means 7% of the time it ain't happening. It's either not going to happen or it's going to get ugly. So just the recognition that there is no perfection. You just want something that works more than anything else.
Yeah.
Then you're in good shape. Then if you lost, you went bad, you learn. You go back and you ask yourself, what are the yellow flags that I ignored? Not the red flags, but what were the yellow flags? Mm-hmm. What were the little things in hindsight that my gut was telling me that it was a problem that I ignored? Then whatever you learned is probably going to be worth more than the lesson cost you.
After you were negotiating a kidnapping and something, if it worked or it didn't work, did you just sit down afterward and analyze with you and your team? Did you just sit down and analyze, okay, this is what we can do better next time?
Always. Yeah, we always did. And the first one that I had go bad, and it went bad in a big way, we did sort of our after action, discussed it, and we were satisfied we did everything we knew how to do. My reaction to that was, okay, so that means we don't know enough. And then I started looking for answers in other places, because if we'd exhausted our knowledge, then I thought, all right, so we got to go outside. And that's actually what got me collaborating with Harvard in the first place, because I was looking for outside expertise that could put a new set of fresh eyes, another angle, another approach from how we were looking at it. And the Harvard guys were extremely helpful. Sheila Heen, Doug Stone, Bob Bordone, Bob Manukin, all very helpful.
You ever have one negotiation that went really well and you analyze it afterward? You went, oh shit, we could have done this better even.
Yeah, to quote the great Irish philosopher Colin McGregor,
now you're reaching, Chris.
Yeah, he's a philosopher.
Yeah, I guess. In his own mind.
But you don't learn much from victories. You kind of pat yourself on the back. As a human being, I don't really ever remember us going back and analyzing when things went well. But I didn't look. It's hard emotionally. It's hard to say, this wasn't a loss. This was a learning experience.
Yeah.
But that's where you really learn when things go bad.
You said something in one of the videos about stop getting people to say yes. I was like, wait a second. That's what we do in real estate. We want people to say yes all the time. It makes us feel better. But can you walk us down that one?
Yeah, well, the three kind of yeses: commitment, confirmation, and counterfeit. And so many